Hello and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely massive, literally one of the most fascinating and rapidly advancing topics of our lifetime, artificial intelligence. But listen, we're not just talking about your standard chatbot here. No, we're tracing the incredible journey of DeepMind. This is a company built with one single monumental goal in mind: to create a system that can actually solve the world's most complex scientific problems. It's a story packed with incredible breakthroughs, staggering ambition, and the actual creation of a machine that truly thinks. Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp the sheer stakes of what we're looking at, you have to understand how the founders of DeepMind view their own mission. Demis Hassabis, one of the founders, put it pretty frankly. He said, "This technology is bigger than the internet. It's bigger than mobile." In fact, he compared it directly to the advent of electricity or fire. I mean, wow. They aren't just trying to build some cool new app, right? They are actively trying to fundamentally alter the entire trajectory of human civilization. So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We're going to cover 1. The quest for AGI, 2. Games as proving grounds, 3. The AlphaGo watershed, 4. Solving protein folding, and finally, 5. The AGI crossroads. It's a completely fascinating journey, so let's get into it. Part 1. The quest for AGI. To really understand this quest, we have to look at founders Demis Hassabis and Shane Legg. Get this, they actually operated in total stealth mode over in London for their first 2 years. Why? Because at the time, believe it or not, the term AI was almost a dirty word. It wasn't taken seriously in academic circles at all. But they didn't care. They wanted to focus purely on scientific breakthroughs and on achieving something called AGI, or artificial general intelligence. Now, standard AI is built to do just one specific thing, right? Like recognizing a face on your phone. But AGI? AGI is all about general intelligence. It means possessing the cognitive breadth to learn multiple tasks completely from scratch, adapting to totally novel problems it has never even seen before, very much like a human brain navigating the real world. You see, the end game for DeepMind was never just to build a really smart computer. The ultimate objective has always been to use AGI as the ultimate tool to cure disease and unlock massive scientific mysteries. But to build a machine capable of this kind of generalized, broad learning, the team obviously needed a safe, simulated environment to actually test and train their algorithms. And, well, that led them to an incredibly unconventional first step. Part 2, Games as Proving Grounds. Okay, let's move to and see how this builds. To train their AI, DeepMind utilized a concept called reinforcement learning. Think of it kind of like a child learning to navigate a brand new playground. They try things out, they get positive feedback when they succeed and negative feedback when they fall down. Well, video games, with their clear scores and absolute rules, were the absolute perfect controlled environments for this. The AI started out super simple with classic 2D pixel games like Atari's Pong and Breakout. They gave the system no rules, just the screen and the goal to maximize the score. And amazingly, it went from completely random inputs to superhuman gameplay in a matter of hours. From there, the algorithms just rapidly scaled up, mastering the ancient board game Go, then mastering literally any two-player game from scratch, and finally conquering the impossibly complex real-time strategy video game StarCraft. To really grasp just how revolutionary this shift is, let's look back at the 1990s. You might remember when the AI Deep Blue famously beat world chess champion Garry Kasparov. But here's the thing. Deep Blue was a rigid, pre-programmed machine. It relied entirely on brute force computing, and it could only play chess. Fast forward to DeepMind's AlphaZero. This is a whole different ballgame. It used reinforcement learning with zero human data, literally none. They just gave it the rules of chess in the morning, and it played millions of games against itself. And by tea time, it had become the strongest chess entity in human history. It even discovered entirely new original attacking styles along the way that grandmasters had never seen before. Part 3, the AlphaGo watershed. So, for decades, the ancient game of Go was basically considered the holy grail of artificial intelligence research. Why? Because it actually has more possible board configurations than there are atoms in the observable universe. Seriously, wrap your head around that. You simply cannot win with brute computing force. Yet, when DeepMind's AlphaGo faced off against the legendary world champion Lee Sedol, it played what is now famously known as Move 37. It was a move so bizarre, so incredibly strange that experts watching were utterly stunned. But when the team checked the algorithm's internal calculations, AlphaGo estimated the probability of a human playing that specific, deeply creative move was just 1 in 10,000. It was the exact moment, right then and there, that a machine demonstrated true, original creativity to the entire world. And let me tell you, the global reaction was immediate and profound. This victory was heavily described as a Sputnik moment. Just as the Sputnik launch ignited the space race back in the day, AlphaGo served as this massive wake-up call, particularly for the Chinese government. It basically escalated the geopolitical stakes of artificial intelligence development overnight. It proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that this transformative technology was arriving way, way sooner than anyone anticipated. Part 4. Solving protein folding. So the crucial point is, games were really only ever a stepping stone. The real test was dropping these general learning algorithms into a messy, incredibly complex, real-world scientific mystery. Enter the protein folding problem. Look, proteins are the fundamental machines of life, right? They're made of strings of amino acids that fold into these mind-bogglingly complex 3D structures. The theory is, if you can accurately predict that structure from just the sequence alone, you unlock the ability to design brand new proteins that could cure diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer, or even break down environmental plastics. The catch? The math involved is just impossibly complex for human minds to ever calculate. It's been a mystery for 50 years. So to test their system, DeepMind entered CASP. You can think of CASP as essentially the Olympics of protein folding. Teams try to predict hidden structures, and if you get a score over 90, the problem is effectively considered solved. Now, DeepMind initially threw their standard game-playing machine learning at the problem, and they were totally humbled. It just didn't work. So what did they do? They went completely back to the drawing board. They completely rewrote their entire system to respect the actual physical and spatial constraints of biology. And when they returned to the competition with their brand new system, AlphaFold, they achieved the impossible. They hit that score and effectively solved a 50-year-old biological mystery. And what exactly did they do with this earth-shattering breakthrough? 200 million. That is the staggering number of protein structures DeepMind predicted and then released to the scientific community entirely for free. They mapped almost every known protein in existence. It has been described as a massive gift to humanity. It fundamentally accelerated global biological research overnight and instantly, permanently changed the landscape of modern science. Part 5. The AGI Crossroads. Now, moving from this soaring scientific triumph, we really have to recognize that AI capabilities are accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill. It is gathering immense speed. The prototypes being developed today are completely transforming our understanding of intelligence itself, which leaves us facing a pretty stark question. How will we govern it? Because technology inherently embeds our human values, It points society in certain directions. Because of this, humanity simply cannot afford that traditional Silicon Valley move fast and break things approach. We are dealing with something far, far too powerful to just break first and fix later. The potential perils of advanced AGI without proper guardrails are, quite frankly, profound. The sources outline some terrifying prospects: autonomous military weaponry, unprecedented and powerful surveillance, the outsmarting and manipulation of global financial markets, and the mass generation of highly sophisticated psychological disinformation. The consensus from the experts is crystal clear here. Protecting humanity requires incredibly robust global coordination and entirely new institutions. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer magnitude of what DeepMind has initiated. It really cannot be overstated. The arrival of AGI isn't just another neat tech upgrade for our phones. It is a dividing line in the timeline of our civilization. There's the part before and the part after. Researchers draw direct parallels to the Industrial Revolution, an incredible moment of massive societal displacement and change. The world we are heading into will be radically, fundamentally different because of this technology. Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and we want to leave you with this final, incredibly vital thought to ponder. Are we ready to responsibly steward the most important technology humanity will ever invent? It is a huge question, and it's one that requires absolutely everyone, not just the scientists in a lab, to take seriously. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and definitely keep an eye on the future.